Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Korean Atlanta Mentorship, and today's Friday, and we're gonna have some Friday fun with Velocity Banking. So I have gotten ChatGPT to come up with some debts, and we're just gonna make up a scenario with some debts so that we can do a demonstration of how we can pay these off quickly using Velocity Banking. So ChatGPT came up with these 5 debts, right? Credit card, personal loan, line of credit card cash advance, and a consolidation loan, listed the payment amounts, the balance, and the interest rate. And so what I've done is I've transferred this information to the spreadsheet right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick Friday demo, have some fun with Velocity Banking. And just as a quick review before we start, what are the two things that we need, requirements that we need to have in order to do Velocity Banking is number one is the budget. The budget is going to tell us where our money is going and how it can easily pay off each of our debts. And once our debts are paid off, that frees up our cash flow, right? Number two is the operating account, the line of credit. So we're gonna have to select a line of credit as our main operating account. Now, luckily, in these debts, we already have a line of credit here. It says the balance is 7,500. I think we'll just assume it's a $10,000 limit, right, for this, and we're gonna use it as our main operating account. So luckily, I've already kind of pre-filled in this budget right here, so transferred all the information. So we're gonna assume that this is a $5,000 paycheck earner, $5,000, a little bit less than $100,000 gross. And this person has several debts, right? Oops, sorry, loan 2, and a line of credit at 10K, and we have to pay some rent and the food, other insurance, gas, right? So let's go ahead and add these up. So I've already transferred this information ready. So here's the thing. When you do your expenses, you always have to have expense breakdown. And what's important is that in every expense breakdown you do, make sure that every debt is listed, right? Every debt is its own single line item because when you pay off one debt, that's cash flow that we've recovered, right? Really important. Okay, so let's go ahead and write down these expenses: 438, 185, 316, 318, 144, and then we'll say 1,500 in rent, and then 1,500 in other stuff. And let's see how much that's going to be. So sum B8 to B14. Okay, so what are a total of our expenses? Ooh, we're kind of living on the edge here, right? So B2 minus B3. So about $600 a month left. And then we're just going to put that as our mandatory savings. We'll say cash flow 0. And okay, so now we have all this debt. So now we're going to do the Velocity Banking version of this. And what do we put as the interest rate? Let me just see here as a line of credit. 7%. That's really good. That's less than my HELOC. I don't even know if that's possible. But again, I didn't make it up. It's ChatGPT. So we'll just use ChatGPT's numbers. I don't know. Should we come up with a more realistic number? Because I don't even know if, or maybe this is like a super good HELOC. I don't know. But we'll just use 7%. Okay. So what's our credit limit? So we're going to use this line of credit, $7,500 balance, which it has already. So 7,500. And then we'll just say that this is a $10,000 credit limit, right? Okay. So let's say the first month is month 0. And let's see if we can, so what we can do. So same paycheck, right? Let's leave our expenses for now. So we'll see what we can refactor. We still have to pay the credit card. We have to do this, 316, 318. Now, the beauty of this is once we use our line of credit as our main account, whatever line of credit is, it could even be a credit card, this essentially turns to 0, right? Because the whole goal of Velocity Banking is you dump your check in, take out your expenses afterwards, and it just goes down, 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 right? And when you put that whole paycheck in, it does 2 things. You make the minimum monthly payment, so it's not really expense anymore, and you minimize the interest because the day you put the paycheck in, your entire paycheck in, that's going to be the lowest average daily balance of the month, really. Okay, so now this is 0, our rent, and our other expenses are pretty much the same. Now let's go ahead and sum that up, okay? So we kind of freed up a little bit of cash flow here, so about 144 a month. And then in Velocity Banking, we have no checking and savings, so equals C2 minus C3. And then we have 743 to pay off this debt. So let's see if we can actually move any of these up here. So how much credit limit is available? About 2,500. Do we have anything that's 2,500? We have this 2K balance right here. And if we move it, we have $2,000 of cash flow. I'm sorry, not $185 of cash flow available. So here's the thing. One way you could figure out which debts you can move and pay off first is usually it's a combination of the highest interest rate, the lowest balance, the highest payment amount, right? But if you want an easy formula, just use what we call the cash flow index. And all it is an arbitrary formula where you take the statement balance and then you divide it by the monthly payment. So if this one is 5,000 divided by 438, okay? This one is 2,000 divided by 185. This one is 10,000 divided by 316. And then this one is 15,000 divided by 318. Okay. So according to this, so the lowest number is the one you want to pay off first. So it kind of matches my suspicions. So if I pay this 2K off, I get $185 in more cash flow. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to move this credit card balance to the line of credit. And anytime you have a credit card, so like this one right here, anything that has a higher interest rate and you move into a lower interest rate line of credit or debt, that's always a win usually, right? So we're going to go ahead and do that. And then we're going to move $2,000 here to the balance. So plus $2,000. Okay. I got to put an equal sign. Equals. That's 9,500 now. But what we did is we freed up 185 cash flow a month. Okay. So now we have $928 of cash flow. And then I think our next goal is to pay off this credit card one balance. So we need about $5,000 in our credit card, or I'm sorry, availability in order to move this. But let's go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and do H2 minus our cash flow, which is 928. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so let's go ahead and estimate the interest. So the easiest way to estimate the interest is take the previous month's balance, multiply by 0.07, and then divide it by 12. And so we can see that the interest is not that much because, again, I'm thinking 7% interest on a line of credit. That's really cheap, but we'll just go with it. All right, so let's say that at what month is this? Kind of around month 5, we certainly have some availability in the credit line to move $5,000, is it? But here's the thing, after 5 months, this is definitely not going to be $5,000. So some of this math is going to be inaccurate, but we're going to pretend that it didn't go down $5,000 just to make my life a little bit easier. All right, so what we do here is that in this one, we just add $5,000. I don't know if that will be, let me just do this. Let's sum this to figure out and again, I'm doing a little bit of cowboy math here, but you have to pay the interest. So if we had to pay around $222, and again, this is probably overestimated, and that's probably at the $10,000 mark. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to just do one more payment. So at month 6, then we go ahead and add that $5,000 balance. Okay. So plus 5000. And now we have that $438 of cash flow added to here. And now it's 1366. Okay. So now what we do is now subtract 1366 here, right? And we just kind of take that sucker to 0, and just go from there. Now let's just kind of take a look at what the interest rates of the loans are. So interest rate is 8% here, very similar. And let me just see what the interest rate, 10% here. Okay. All right, so let me go back, and what we'll do is we'll just take this sucker to 0, right? And let's just calculate how much interest we paid off. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, and then let's go do this. All right, and let's sum up the interest. All right, sum it up. And we're going to pay about $444 of interest for these 2 credit cards and the line of credit, and it's going to take us about a little bit more than a year, right? So a little bit more than a year to pay off these 3 debts: the line of credit, credit card 1, and credit card 2. Now, our next job is to essentially tackle the loan, okay? So here's the thing. At this point, if we paid off 3 of these lines of credit, I would ask for a credit limit increase, right? So if my credit limit is $10,000, I probably get like 20 or 25. Hopefully I have a good credit profile, but I'd wait until the balance of these 0 lines actually gets reported to the credit bureaus. And then once I have confirmation that these are 0 balances in the credit bureaus, then I would ask for a credit limit increase for this, at least for this line of credit. And I probably get it for the credit cards as well. So now, okay, so let's just make a quick note. This took all the credit card 1, credit card 2, and line of credit took a little bit more, about 13 months to pay off, right? So 13 months to pay off and about $448 of interest. Okay. And how much debt was that? That was 7,000 plus 7,500. That's about 14 grand. So just say 14 grand payoff. Wow, I paid off 14 grand and only paid $448 of interest? That's crazy. Okay, but that's what we do here. All right, so now let's go back to what we're doing and assume that now we've increased our credit line. Again, maybe they're being generous and just say, hey, now you get 27,000, okay? And we could pay, here's the thing. You could pay off one at a time. You could just pay off both. It doesn't matter. I mean, for me, I just want to get rid of these loans, and I'll just say, okay, I just do a $25,000 dump transfer, right? So now this goes to 0 and this goes to 0. So what's our cash flow? It's 2,000, right? So let's see. So I'll just go here, H2 minus 2,000. So we have plenty of cash flow to knock this sucker down. And let's do that. And how many months is it going to take? So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, so 13. And then we're going to take the previous month's balance, which is H2, times 0.07 divided by 12. And if some of you might not know, why do we divide by 12? Because the interest rate is always quoted annually, APR, annual percentage rate. And if you want to estimate the monthly interest, just divide that by 12, right? Okay, so now let's go ahead and sum this sucker up. So about $1,000 of interest, and this took about 13 months too. So these where is it? The 2 loans, right? So loan 1 and 2 took 13 months and to pay off. And how much interest? It was about $1,000 of interest, 1K interest, and the payoff is again 25K. All right. So now if we just kind of look at this, and again, these are all estimates, right? And here's the worst part, right? So when we do this 25 grand, if it takes us 13 months to pay off credit card 1, 2, and 3 and the line of credit, or credit card 1, 2 and the line of credit, this is not going to be 25 grand. But I'm way too lazy just to do that math and figure out how much these loans will be after 13 months. But again, we're overestimating. All right, so now we have $1,000 of interest, 25K paid off, and this one we have 14K payoff. So what's the sum? So it'll be 26 months to pay off. How much debt? So that would be 14 plus 25. I can't do math today. So what's 14 plus 25? That would be 39. So almost 40K of debt. So 39K of debt. Okay, and what's the total interest? That would be $1,448. So 1.4K interest. I don't know, you guys ever watch like Owen Wilson? And you're like, wow, that's how I feel right now, right? So we're almost living at the edge. And then after 26 months, and it's probably less than that just because I've overestimated some things, we now have a true $2,000 a month cash flow, and we're able to sleep at night, and we have actual money in the bank account because we got rid of all of our debts, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent. All right. So this is, hope you had fun. So Friday fun tonight with us. Now, if you're interested in joining our group, go ahead and click the Google form link below, and you can enter in your information. We'll get on a one-on-one Zoom call. Also, if you're interested in joining the YouTube channel, it's only 99 cents a month, right? You get access to exclusive emojis, and we have a once-a-month exclusive live stream that I'm going to announce soon. All right. Have a great day, everybody, and we will speak next time.